What's good, Commanders fans? And welcome back to the Commanders Kings channel, including myself, Louie T, Rio Robinson, and my guy Street Scores. We had a great stream last night on the channel, so make sure you guys check that out from last night. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell as well. Just want to break some news that came out last night that some people may have not heard is that Kirk Cousins, you like that, Kirk Cousins has been benched in favor of Michael Penix. Raheem Morris announced that around like 8:30. No, later than that. It was probably like 9 o'clock. Because we were on the stream last night when the news came out, and we started the stream at like 8:30, 8:35. So they interviewed Raheem Morris yesterday around like 4, and he was like, they asked him about the quarterback situation, and he didn't really give an answer. He was like, I'm not going to answer that right now because we just got back from Vegas, and that basically opened the door for speculation for a quarterback change. Kirk has been awful the last couple games. I mean, he was probably the worst, one of the worst, bottom 5 quarterback the last couple games. You look at his game log, and he threw a bunch of interceptions. He threw 4 picks against the Chargers where they lost 17-13. He threw 2 picks against Minnesota where they lost 42-21. He threw a pick against Denver where they lost 38-6, and then he threw an interception against the Saints where they lost 20-17. And then even when they did beat the Raiders with Desmond Ridder, who is their third, fourth string quarterback, they barely beat the Vegas Raiders on Monday Night Football 15-9. He could barely move through an interception. There was one play where he botched a play to hand the ball off to Bijan Robinson. And with all the weapons that the Falcons had with Darnell Mooney, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, you can't move the football with those guys, and he can barely move. I mean, he just came off the Achilles injury, so people got to, keep that in mind too. And he's kind of on the Matt Ryan trajectory where Matt Ryan was really good at one point, and you could just see him gradually fall off. When he was with the Colts, you could just see that fall off clearly. And it looks like the same thing has happened with Kirk Cousins. So we're not going to get the Kirk Cousins coming back to Landover. I was going to call it like a homecoming type thing, but a coming back to Landover game on Sunday Night Football because we all know the game just got flexed. So we're not going to have a Kirk come back to DC type of game. So the argument is, and I know we still have the Eagles game coming up, and we know this Falcons game is a huge game for playoff implications because it could come down to a tiebreaker because they play the Giants next week when they're probably going to beat the Giants with Michael Penix. Penix. They probably would have beat the Giants with Kirk Cousins too because the Giants aren't trying to win a game right now or win any games. They're looking for the draft. But that game, Sunday Night Football, has huge playoff implications, and people are going back and forth, who would you rather face? And honestly, I'd probably rather face Kirk because he's just been so bad. And you just don't know what you're going to get from Michael Penix. Michael Penix could look darn good against the Giants and then look good against us. We just struggled against Spencer Rattler. We struggled against Cooper Rush. So you just don't know with the unknown at this point. And Michael Penix, he's going to air the ball out. He's going to air the ball out. He's not going to be gun shy. I highly doubt he's going to be gun shy against the Giants. We'll see how he plays on Sunday, and we'll see if we take care of business, which we should against the Falcons in the next couple of weeks. But it's just interesting that they just decided to bench Kirk. All the money that they're paying Kirk Cousins. So this is from Todd Palacero. He says the Falcons are paying Kirk Cousins $62.5 million this season as part of the 4-year, $180 million deal he signed in March. He's due $27.5 million fully guaranteed in 2025. And he also has a no-trade clause, which is insane. I don't know why he has a no-trade clause. It's just insane to me. But, yeah, they pay this guy a lot of money, man. They pay this guy a lot of money. And he had a couple good games to start the season off, like that Tampa Bay game on Thursday Night Football where he threw for 509 yards and 4 touchdowns. He was doing the swag surf, which was the ugliest swag surf I've ever seen in my life. But, yeah, Kirk has just really fallen off, throwing lollipop passes against the Chargers, 4 picks, throwing the ball basically, just telegraphing passes. And Raheem Morris was like, enough is enough, man. We just got to put the rookie in. So we're going to see Jaden Daniels. Happy birthday to Jaden Daniels. Today is Jaden Daniels' birthday. Definitely make sure you guys vote for Jaden Daniels for Rookie of the Week. He should win that again. But it's going to be Jaden Daniels, the 2 rookie quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels versus Michael Penix. And this class has looked pretty solid for the most part. For the most part, this class has looked pretty solid, looked pretty good. So Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels versus Michael Penix should be a really good game. The last time we saw Michael Penix play in a meaningful game was the championship game where he threw an interception to our guy, Mikey Sainristil. So let's see if Mikey Sainristil can do the same thing and make ball his life against Michael Penix in a couple weeks on Sunday Night Football. So that's that for Kirk. I do want to talk about some of the roster moves that the Commanders made as well. So they did sign tight end Tyreek Jackson to the practice squad. So Tyreek Jackson, I'm a little intrigued by. I know some people are just like, who cares and whatnot, but clearly it may be an indication that Zach Ertz is going to be out on Sunday with the concussion. We know how the concussion protocol goes for our guys. Austin Eckler missed a week right after he got hurt with the concussion after the Bengals game. But you see other teams like Tyrone Tracy from the Giants, he got a concussion on Monday Night Football, and next thing you know, he's ready to play us. But other guys, our team, concussions typically linger. Andrew Wiley was concussed earlier in the year. Now Jeremy Chin is concussed. And with previous regimes, I know I'm not going to compare. I don't want to compare, but, Jordan Reed, Vernon Davis, we saw those guys out for a long time. So it's kind of tough to say that, Zach Ertz, who's 34, would be back. And I feel like we're going to get some more injury report news today from Dan Quinn. I mean, the best news is that Tyler Biadasz is expected to play against the Eagles. That's what Dan Quinn said. We'll see if he is a full participant in practice today. But the indication, the signing of Tyreek Jackson, to me, is the indication of a high possibility that Zach Ertz will not be available. Zach Ertz made a heck of a catch on the play that he got injured. That was probably the best catch that we've seen from him all season. He's had a solid season. Like, he hasn't had a bad season. He's been very productive and a big time target for Jaden. But Tyreek Jackson, he went to Buffalo, quarterback, transitioned into a tight end, similar to the Armani Rogers situation. But the thing that I do like about Tyreek Jackson is that he's very, very, very athletic. 6'7", 245 pounds, ran a 4.5 40-yard dash, which was elite on the relative athletic score. So Tyreek Jackson, I'm going to read this. This is from Kent Lee Platt, math bomb, who always tweets out the RAS score, which has become a big thing over the past couple of years in draft classes. He scored a 9.8 RAS out of a possible 10 as a tight end where he plays now. This ranked 18th out of 855 tight ends from 1987 to 2019. So that's legit stuff right there, man. 40-yard dash was elite. The 20-yard split was elite with a 9.31 seconds. 10-yard split was elite with 9.36. His shuttle drill, 4.28 seconds, 8.02, which was elite. Height, 6'7", elite. Composite explosion grade, which was great. Also, his vertical leap was solid with a 34.5 vertical leap, so he can probably, windmill, 360 dunk a basketball. Broad jump was 8.6, which was elite as well. Arm length, elite. Hand size, elite. I mean, he's just a big fella, man. Even quarterback, his RAS score for the quarterback position was, he posted the 6th best RAS all time for a quarterback dating back to 1987. Amazing size, speed, and explosiveness with above average agility. He also played for the DC Defenders. He played behind Cardell Jones, but that season got canceled because of the virus in the 2020 season. I know a lot of fans showed up to the DC Defenders games for sure, but he was the backup quarterback. He did get a couple snaps at quarterback for the DC Defenders, and if you look at some of his quarterback stats, which doesn't matter now because he's the tight end, he threw 28 touchdowns, 12 picks in 2018, and he ran for 7 touchdowns. He ran for 399 yards off of 99 attempts in 2016, so the guy can move, he can run. In a preseason game as the Bills quarterback, he ran for a touchdown as well, and he threw for a touchdown pass. So the guy's an athlete. He's an athlete, man. So, I mean, that's kind of, he was also he was the MAC Offensive Player of the Year in 2018, first team All-MAC in 2018. Played for the Eagles. He caught a touchdown pass against the Cowboys, a shovel pass from Gardner Minshew. That same game, he tore his ACL. Played a couple games for the Giants. Didn't get in much. Didn't really do much. But he's a big target. So, I mean, you can use him in the red zone just as a big body. Just throw it up there, one-on-one situations. I mean, 6'7" is like go up there and get it. Just give Jaden as many targets as you can get, as many weapons as you can get. If Zach Ertz is going to be out, Austin Eckler out, Noah Brown out, you got to give your young quarterback as many targets as you can get. His Wonderlic score wasn't bad either. I mean, I know that doesn't matter, but he did a great job at the combine. He did a great job at the combine. I know it doesn't matter in the long run, but yeah, I'm intrigued by Tyree. I'm intrigued. That's all I'm going to say. Played in 3 seasons. Like I said, Philly for 2 years, 2021 and 2022 with the Eagles, and in 2023 with the Giants. It just kind of has been in and out with injuries and whatnot. So let's see what happens with that. Now, some other news that I did see that intrigued me was, this is from Aaron Wilson. So he talked about the other players that we brought in for workouts yesterday. We worked out Lawrence Cager, who is a wide receiver, I believe. Look at it. Yeah, he's a tight end, actually. He played for the Giants. So we brought in Lawrence Cager for a tight end. So we brought a couple of tight ends in. We brought in LaDadrick Griffin, who is also a wide receiver, Tulu Griffin. He went to Mississippi State. We brought in a wide receiver. So it's kind of telling that they're still looking at wide receivers. That Adam Peters is still not, he's still searching for wide receiver help. He's still not comfortable with what we have in the room right now. Even though you have Mitchell Tinsley on the practice squad, Bryson Tremaine on the practice squad, you just signed KJ Osborne, and he's still bringing in receivers for workouts. Parker Heast, they brought him in for a workout. He's a tight end. They brought in Jackson Jank. He's a tight end as well. They brought in Rocky Lombardi. He's a quarterback. And the biggest name on the workout list yesterday was Robert Tonyan, who played for the Packers. We all remember Robert Tonyan when he cooked Jamin Davis on that touchdown catch in, I believe, either 2022 or 2020. But Robert Tonyan had 11 touchdown catches in 2020. This is 5 years ago. I get it. But for a guy like this to be on the open market, it's kind of like maybe I would have rather signed Robert Tonyan than Tyreek Jackson. I wasn't there at the workout, clearly, but maybe they saw that Tyreek Jackson just looks more athletic than Robert Tonyan at this point. Robert Tonyan did suffer an ACL injury. Kind of after the ACL injury, his career went downhill. He signed with the Bears in 2023, had 11 catches for 112 yards. Then he signed with the Minnesota Vikings. Didn't really work out there, and now he's a free agent. So you look at the good years, 2020 with Aaron Rodgers, 52 catches for 586 yards and 11 touchdowns. And then 2022, he had 53 catches for 470 yards and 2 touchdowns in that 2022 season. 6'5", 240 pounds. He also ran a 4.5 40-yard dash. In some of his best seasons, when thrown at, highest passer rating when targeted, he had 148.3 passer rating when targeted in that 2020 season from Aaron Rodgers. Played with Devontae Smith, Aaron Jones. They had a darn good team. Alan Lazard. And the 2020 season also, Robert Tonyan has been targeted 81 times the past 2 seasons with 0 drops. Also had the most deep receiving touchdowns in the 2020 season with 4. So I get it was 5 years ago, but he did show some production in the 2022 season. Undrafted, 2022, like I said, 53 catches, 470 yards, 2 touchdowns, 8.9 yards per reception, and a passer rating when targeted of 95.1. So it is a little bit of a head scratcher to me why they didn't bring in Robert Tonyan. But once again, maybe they just saw something from Tyreek Jackson that they liked. Physically wise and athletically wise and mobility wise, because I like Zach Ertz, but he is no Yak Zach. It would be nice if Jaden Daniels could get a tight end that could move with the football after he catches it instead of being no Yak Zach. And Ben Sinnott has the potential to do that. So will he get more targets? John Bates is not much of a receiving tight end. So Ben Sinnott, let's see what happens this game against the Eagles and then also the Falcons game, really the rest of the way, if he does get involved more in the offense as a pass catcher. Because at Kansas State, man, he was moving people. He was catching footballs, running people over, looking at like that Kyle Juszczyk out there, but more of a receiving option. And we just haven't really gotten that from Ben Sinnott. Cole Turner's on the practice squad. Colson Yankov, he's on IR or on the practice squad. So somebody's got to step up at the tight end position. So, but like I said, it is intriguing to me that we're still working out receivers and some other guys too, because we just signed KJ Osborne and Adam Peters clearly wants more at the position. So, all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. As always, Health Commanders, peace.